Sorry, we're trying to hear you again.
Technology.
It works when it does.
Yeah, exactly. Great when it works, right?
Mr. Dougal, are you muted?
No.
There, here's something.
Not a good thing.
The volume is,
Just real loud.
We're just adjusting the volume.
Try saying something again now.
Can you hear me now?
yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you so much for being here. What we have in front of us, so that you know, are all the attachments that you sent. And then we have our attached 24-25 legislative platform, because we had that other workshop with you last year as well. I think for a couple meetings that we've had at district, and also conversations with the board and being at the conference the other week, one of the things that we'd like you to talk about and your knowledge of, and we might have a few questions too from district staff and board members, is the School of Hope, and how, what you're hearing, how is that playing out, and a few questions that we'll have. And then, of course, we'll go over the attachments that you put on here, and we'll try to come up with a legislative platform before 4:30.
Okay, perfect. You can hear me? I'm sorry I missed some of y'all that were down at FSBA. I was out sick. I had the Tallahassee crud. It was a horrible crud last week, but back. This is the last week of committee meeting weeks. Thankfully, lots going on. I've been talking about the key issues. Obviously, this week the House has Artificial Intelligence Week, so there are lots of presentations on artificial intelligence. But to talk about Schools of Hope, I've had about between last week and this week, I've probably had 10 meetings with legislative staff in both the House and the Senate, and senators and House members, just taking a temperature for if there's any bandwidth, opportunity, or desire to maybe perhaps make some changes, whether they be in law or in rule. Regarding the School of Hope program, as you know, at the very end of last session, the new School of Hope program, we had Schools of Hope, but the new School of Hope program that was created in a budget conforming bill, it greatly expanded it. And then we all know, I think there were 690 applications across the state in 22 school districts for operators to tag schools in different districts about the potential of opening a School of Hope. So there are some implementation issues whenever you go big and bold with education policy issues, like we've seen on school safety, we saw in HB1, we saw in school start times. Sometimes you have to go back and look. So we've had an application period. And so what are some of the issues that are kind of being discussed around in Tallahassee? I think some of it is the timing of it. So you're a Hope operator and you're looking at what is capacity. There's key terms. Let me get my notes. Sorry, I just ran back from the Capitol. There are key terms, whether it be in rule or law, such as underused, underutilized, or excess. Those aren't defined anywhere. So for the districts and for the operators, it'd be nice to have a definition. And then also, you guys may be familiar, have you heard of the FISH report, the Florida Inventory of Schoolhouses, where DOE does the statewide report, where districts report a room was built for this, or student stations, how many student stations are in this room. Last year, the legislature added VPK to be included in the FISH report to kind of look at the student stations in your schools. So that's really why the FISH report was created, but what the FISH report doesn't capture is the programmatic uses of your school district facilities. For example, if you have a science lab, if you have a pull-out remediation room, if you have an auditorium, if you have a drama room, if you have all these multi-purpose rooms, those student station capacities, because they're programmatic, are captured in the FISH report. And it's not that the FISH report is bad, the FISH report wasn't designed to capture those stations. So we're having discussions with people in the legislative process to say, hey, do you want to add on to the original intent of the FISH report, or do you want to create a new FISH report that can adequately assess how a school is actually using it? Because you don't want a school operator, which happened this time, to go and apply for a school fight facility based on the fish report, which, by the way, since they had a VPK last session, the fish report was from an earlier time, so operators didn't even really have a true number on the VPK per student station because that was not included in the latest fish report. We also know ESE classrooms, they don't use the maximum number of student stations assigned because they have equipment, they have mobility, same thing with tech centers. There's other things, you're not going to use that space as you would see it in the fish report. So there is a fish report issue. Again, you can expand it or you can create a new report. So those have been some discussions happening last week and this week. Another issue has been, so if I was a School Hope operator and I wanted to come in and create an elementary school and a high school or a high school and elementary school, responsible for the retrofitting of the bathrooms, the furniture, everything that goes along with it. There would be some costs associated.
We lost her.
They will come back.
Angela, you'll have to call back on.
Can she still hear us or no?
Usually if it's
Let me,
Well, she's still telling us stuff.
Yeah, exactly. No, I realize she probably does.
we lost you. We have to sign back
I
in.
know, Fisk.
I think she said
Make it
fish.
a Zoom meeting.
Fish, F-I-S-H.
Okay, I thought that's what it sounded.
Here, just take my computer.
Not sharp, but it's Florida Inventory of Schoolhouses.
Okay.
Is it something that's been around a long time, or is it something?
So are you, David, do they notify the school that they're coming to do the inventory? Or notify the district?
I believe so.
Okay, they don't just show up and say we're inventorying your school.
The maintenance does it every year, there's a release and a report, just like we would.
It's an annual thing. It's done for a long time.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
I think
She back.
right, next cost. So we're looking at, maybe similar co-location with grade level configurations. There's conversations about that. There's also conversations about what is the actual cost to a school district. So Hillsborough County, they did a potential cost of the actual, even though in the rule or law it says that the HOPE operators will pay for student transportation and safe schools, we know that districts traditionally get paid 60% of the actual expenditures they use in those two allocations, or what we used to call categoricals. And then the districts will be responsible for food services, energy, maintenance, operation. And then the FTE that it costs to actually do the work has a cost too. So for Hillsborough County, they had an operator apply for 400 spaces in a school, and that cost comes out to about $2,200 per student that the school district would be supplementing a HOPE operator per student that co-located. So we're having conversations about the cost now that we've seen the rule and the law. Another issue we're talking about is maybe not all schools are fit and could have maybe a safe harbor, right? So if you're a A or B school for 3 years, or if you're a school of excellence, maybe a safe harbor. Maybe if you're an ESE center, those are our most vulnerable students. Maybe that's not the best fit for co-location. Or if you've invested in a tech center, that equipment and specialty would be hard for the co-location of a traditional school if that's the intent. And then also, if you had a newly constructed schools, so I know you guys went the special facilities construction program, you built a new school, but some districts are building schools, and we all know a lot of times you don't fill up all 4 grade levels in a school when it opens. You do the freshman and the sophomore. It takes a couple years. Or if you create a magnet school in the larger districts, they phase the students in and build the programs. So maybe a safe harbor because that space is taken. It's just programmatically not the best step to phase folks in. And then additionally, if there's a Castaldi review, like HOPE operators apply to go into schools that are under Castaldi review, we don't know if they're going to be renovated, if they're going to be recommended for demolition. So maybe there should be some more information on schools in the Castaldi process. Also talking about aligning the Schools of Hope application process to when the FISH report is actually released, because the DOE does a draft. School districts have 2 months to go back and edit and release it, but kind of make it all aligned so everyone kind of knows what space is available. And then also maybe talking about if I have a school, it's in a neighborhood, instead of giving the School of Hope operator 100% of the available capacity, maybe cap it at 90 or 95%. So if I'm a neighborhood and zoned for that school, there's still space if a parent makes the changes and the type of school their student would attend. There's a couple more. There's also been discussions talking about, is there any impact on Schools of Hope on the school district's bond? Is there any need to put certain student performance requirements for how these schools are doing? Should we cap the number of applications a provider can submit? Change the number, like when a School of Hope operator, when they applied this year, the 690 applications, actually school district staff had to work on Veterans Day because it says calendar days, not business days. So maybe align that better for the school district workforce. And then maybe just like the Step Up for Students charges an administration fee for our scholarship students, there is an administrative cost on the district side. So maybe there's an application fee, maybe there's 3% of the initial FTE, just something to recoup the cost of the district processing the School of Hope operator application and what's going to be the time, energy, effort to open a School of Hope. So that's a very high level. There's other issues, but there's also debate whether some of these changes can be made in rule and not law. So there are conversations. There's no commitment to a change either way. People are just listening and looking at these glitch issues to see if changes should be made. But that is a big issue, along with AI, along with the property tax bills going around. The House started with 7 property tax bills. Currently now, doesn't mean in the future, they're down to 1. House Bill 209, the Senate hasn't rolled out their property tax bill. The governor wants to eliminate property taxes. You have that. You have the redistricting issue on top of that. So with property taxes, that's going to impact the budget. I think the Senate, the House maybe want to cut $3 billion or more in the budget because if you do something with property taxes, you may have to backfill the fiscally constrained counties. So those are the big things. And the other biggest issue that I think would impact y'all is both the House and Senate has spent considerable committee time on chewing up, when I'm saying chewing up, how the money follows the student with the scholarships. Because the state reverted 67 million back, 47 to the districts, 20 million to the scholarship kids, because unfortunately the DOE attendance data and student tracking and having the Florida ID number, not all the students had that, going back and cross-checking and making sure the money does follow the student. So the Senate is moving forward with theirs, and the House has not released theirs, but they will come out with a bill similarly, because for more transparency and accountability with scholarship funding from both the DOE perspective and the scholarship organizations. And that's really what's happening. And then, of course, you have the Artificial Intelligence Week with lots of presentations happening. And then today I went through and tagged 38 more bills filed. So your bill report this week is going to look significantly different than last week. January 13th is the last day for a bill to be filed. So it's growing. So I know that's a high overview. Happy to answer any questions and provide more insight.
Have you heard any talk about the rural renaissance?
That is going to be moving too. President Albritton, he filed that. It's being heard in full appropriations, I believe, tomorrow. So the Senate fully intends on moving that forward. And we all know the consortiums. There was money in the bill for the consortiums, which will be helpful to y'all, and the consortiums for shared services. And we'll see what happens. Obviously, the House and Senate, unfortunately, they kind of started committee week the way they ended session. Not a whole lot of communication, hurt feelings. And then you obviously have Governor DeSantis, and then you had Trump weigh in on the AI stuff. He wants to do an executive order on AI. DeSantis wants a law on AI. So you have lots of moving parts, which is normal when a governor's term limit ends. And this is just kind of all normal, but it makes for a tough session.
Okay. Back to the talk about School of Hopes. In your list, I didn't hear anything about safety. Has that been discussed, how that will be looked at, if at all?
About what? I'm sorry.
Safety.
Yes, that's part of it is in the rule of the law. I can't remember where it was. It had said the Hope operators would pay for that, but there's just not enough money from what they would get. So yes, there would be a subsidy to the district for safety. Because just think about it. If you added 400 students to a school, you're going to need another lunch lady or lunch man. You're going to probably need another safety officer. You're going to probably need more safety protocols. Who's responsible for what? At this point, there's more unanswered questions than answers, but people are working diligently through to solve this and having conversations, so we'll see where it lands. It's early yet.
Okay. One other bill I know Mrs. Baxter and I had heard about at conference, and I might be I might be incorrect on the number, but 538, I put that in my email, it's something about coaches.
Okay, so there was a bill filed by Senator Simon,
Okay,
and thank you for sending that ahead of time. I did pull it up. Let me just get to my notes.
okay,
And I think probably what the chat was about, most of it, is it all comes down to the last provision that says permits district school boards to set and exceed normal salary schedules for athletic coaches. So everyone's talking about, well, if it's athletic coaches, shouldn't it be other folks that do supplemental services in school districts? So it will be interesting to see if that passes, if it moves, if other categories are added. But yes, that bill was filed. And then as we get into session, Superintendent and I, we can have weekly conversations, tell you where the bills are moving. There's probably going to be about 150 to 200 education bills filed. They don't all move. So once they start getting assigned to a committee, being heard and moving, then we can have more in-depth conversation. And I need your feedback so I can take it to your delegation. You have a great delegation. And I've met with your delegation several times, and they're big fans of you and the work that you're doing with your students.
yeah, they're great. Any moving questions right now that we can ask? Or you
It was
can ask?
interesting, some of the bills that you shared with us, hairstyle discrimination, cursive handwriting, I mean,
Those are the gifts that they keep coming back. Both of those bills were filed last year. The House passed the cursive writing bill, and I talked to the sponsor, Representative Overdorf, and he was like, kids need to be able to read the Constitution. It's written in cursive. Kids can't read it. I talked to Senator Grawl, the sponsor over in the Senate last year, and she said her own kids, she homeschools, I believe, couldn't write in cursive. And so that bill is coming back. It did not move in the Senate last year, but it did pass the House.
okay.
And the hairstyle bill has been filed many, many years. I don't anticipate that moving as any more than it has in the past.
Okay, and then the corporal punishment, I think we have that, but a lot of administrators are reluctant to use it
Yep.
because of liability. So you think that's probably going somewhere?
It may, but it's the same thing. People have different opinions on it. It's mostly rural small school districts like y'all that use it. It's consent. It's been filed a couple times before. I can't really tell if it's going to move this year or not. I anticipate it will get a hearing.
Okay. I don't think anybody really uses it. I mean, I think we have it, we can, but it's
Right.
being used? Okay.
It's used, as long as.
Just like your term limits for school board members. Term limit for school board members was filed again. That's been filed for the past 3 years. Excuse me. Senator Harrell has filed a couple of bills relating to IEPs and autism for school districts that are new. And normally it's not unusual for the second year of leadership. You have the same Senate president, same Speaker of the House. Bills that didn't pass last year are going to get refiled this year. There is a new Florida virtual school. In the past, they've had to prioritize students in rural counties for maybe courses they didn't have, but they want to open that up so they can be more of a statewide virtual school. There's some more oaths of classroom teachers by Representative
Yeah, I
Fabricio.
saw that. What exactly does that entail? Oaths of class?
Saying that you're going to uphold your duties as a teacher.
Okay. All right, just to make them be more accountable, I guess.
Yeah, just to make sure they remember they had an oath. And then even though it's called suits against the government, it's really what we call the sovereign immunity bill that would impact you. Every year for the past 5 years, bills have been filed to raise the limit.
Uh-huh.
So if the limit was raised, you would have to pay out more. So we've been watching that. There's another bill by Senator Grawl. She files one about every year on provisions of maternal health and contraceptive information to students. There's always a parental rights bill. There's a Charlie Kirk Day of Remembrance by Senator Martin that's been filed. Another bill that's been filed that has the responsibilities to get information out from the Department of Health out to the schools. Harold has a spectrum disorder. Sorry, I'm just cruising through some of the things I think y'all may be.
What,
School zone and pedestrian safety, another one.
right, Kim, what about that Senate Bill 0206, the students with autism, the requirement? Does that just mean that there will have to be specially trained? I don't understand that. Senate Bill 0206, students with autism.
Is that Senator Harold's bill?
I don't know, I just have the number.
Let me see, 0206. I'm looking. Yeah, that is Senator Harold. Rather than authorizing the State Board of Education to adopt rules requiring that such rules include a requirement retained to autism spectrum disorder for certain K-12 teachers. So they can recognize it. Most of it's about identification.
Okay,
So then you treat the kids and handle the kids the way they should be treated. Obviously, the more educated teachers are about this, maybe they're not, that would be helpful.
and then the school zone traffic control device, is that something we already have?
That's the camera.
That was House Bill 0283, school zone traffic control device.
Yeah, I think that one requires the design and construction plans for installation of crosswalks in school zones or on certain streets, roads, or highways include certain traffic controls. I think it's just the intent, I'd have to go back and read the language, is that it makes it safer for the students crossing certain roads.
Right, but I don't
But
think
we
the
wouldn't have
onus
to
is on us for
purchase.
that.
Okay, good.
Not as far as I know.
Right.
We don't put in crossings now. It's up to the DOT or county
Yeah.
or whatever, right?
The municipality.
Right.
does
Is that
own us.
right? I
Yeah,
didn't-
yeah,
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then Friday, you'll have at least 38 more bills on that list. Fun times. Probably be 50, maybe 55 by Friday in addition.
Okay. Do you want to ask her for a recommendation?
Kim, do you have any recommendation on what we should focus on when we go up to Tallahassee? Or, we usually try to do 3 to 5 topics.
I think the budget, knowing that both chambers are looking at the budget and potentially reducing the budget, I think asking for an increase of the BSA up to 3 to 5% would be reasonable, because you have your utility costs are going up. Every year it seems like what you have to contribute to the Florida retirement system is going up. So last year, even though I think you got a 0.78% increase, that was already eaten up by just increased costs. You didn't make any decisions, and you probably had to reduce your budget based on increased costs. So I think money is the most important thing for your operating. I think number 2, there's been conversations about in the halls, you never know if it's real or not, is making sure that the legislature doesn't require the districts roll back their RLE. Does that would impact you as well? And I think you thank so far House members for not including school districts in the property tax bills.
Right.
Your impact. I think we have to wait and see on the AI. I think you thank both the House and the Senate for the work they're both doing, even though they'll have to blend their packages at a later date on the transparency for the money following the students.
Yes.
I think you weren't as impacted as other districts, but that's huge because some of the things they put into place, you'll get your money sooner, so you'll have a more predictable budget.
Okay.
We don't know about the AI yet and these other bills. Schools of Hope, I think, should be on your list. Schools of Hope, just conversation. I know it may not have impacted you, but this is only the first year of the program, and I anticipate the program, as these glitch issues are resolved, the legislature is definitely looking at, hey, taxpayers fund the public school buildings, and there's unused portions of it. If we can use the unused portions of it, we should. And they're also looking at, I think there was a bill today filed that if a school district isn't using land or property within a certain amount of time frame, first right of refusal would go to charter schools. So I think you look at it as you do everything judiciously. This is taxpayers funded dollars. How can we best use our assets? And think about yourself as a business with assets. Where are your assets? Do you plan to use them? Not plan to use them? What are you doing with them? That's how they're thinking.
I mean, based on last week at that conference, I think everyone was at the lunch. When you say that should be a topic that we move forward on, the schools of hope and so forth, and assets and land or property, I think the verbiage needs to be accurate. Or some of the message that I was taken from all that is basically not to be moving forward as a district for that on the platform.
To not move forward doing what?
With having schools of hope and that type of conversation up in Tallahassee at the moment. Am I wrong?
I think at the moment is correct because there's folks reaching out to seeing what the bandwidth, the capacity, the interest is. I think we'll be in a better position after this week. You'll be getting information about kind of what we think the bandwidth may be, because because we know there is no bandwidth to eliminate Schools of Hope. No one's asking for Schools of Hope to go away. What we are doing is just making sure the guardrails and the tenets of the program set students up for success, but at the same time honor the charter school hope operator coming in and the school district on a level playing field.
Okay.
Kim, I worry a little bit about some sort of mandatory legislation coming down regarding AI. And I know it's such a fluid conversation and we don't know what we don't know, but I don't want Levy to be behind. And I want us to be ready for it from like a tech standpoint, which Morgan, okay, I got a thumbs up, never mind.
We have an existing,
Yeah.
Okay,
And I think a lot of the discussion that I've heard about AI is the legislature wants to protect teachers. They want teachers to teach, not the AI to teach. But there is education technology out there when AI is like, there's a balance, but the teachers need to teach. Governor DeSantis doesn't want AI replacing people's jobs. They need to do their job. So we'll wait to see. Like I said, the House was doing their AI week this week. The Senate hasn't done an AI week, and we'll start to see how it's crafted. And then I think I sent you the tenets of what Governor DeSantis sent out as the AI Bill of Rights.
Yes, ma'am.
How much traction do you think the sovereign immunity bill has?
It has traction every year, but I'm on a work group of about 40 people, whether it's with hospitals, lawyers. There's a big group out there. And also, there's also a fiscal impact to the state.
Right. And to the school
And-
district for the insurance.
And the school districts and counties, and to everybody, to all state entities. So, it was filed again, and it's going to get heard again. It's going to move again, but it takes 40 people to work on this bill.
Right.
Kim, can you tell us a little bit about the House Bill 305, the statewide standard assessments? There's a Senate bill on it also, 0342.
What was the number? 3?
305.
305.
was the House bill, and the Senate bill was 0342.
I don't necessarily see that one moving much at all. I don't see 305 or 342 moving. It's just not necessarily in the direction the state has been headed.
What was that supposed to accomplish?
I have not talked to the bill sponsors about that one because I don't anticipate it moving very far. That I would have to get back to you. I just don't see it really
Going in?
moving.
Yeah, I just didn't know what impact it would have if it
Do we want to put something on our platform about the property tax bill, at least advocating for, if it's eliminated, at least to have funding for schools? Or is
I
that
think
a
if
touchy
you do
subject?
something to keep it simple, I would just say you would advocate for any property tax reductions would hold school districts harmless.
Yeah, think that'd be very important for us to put that school on the
Mhm.
platform.
Yep. That's a good point.
You think 3, 5, just somewhere in that range?
Oh yeah, 3 to 5. Well, once you get past 5, they're trying to get their own bills written. They're trying to get their bills passed. Or 3 to 5 is perfect.
Any questions from back there regarding previous lead team meetings, Schools of Hope, or anything?
I think, the state just purchased 22,000 acres in Lee County to expand goat feed. And so when you ask for 5% to be added, you might want to mention that as well. That's land that's now taken off our
The tax roll,
rolls.
you're right, that's a bullet.
Oh, man.
Ag exempt or not, 22,000 acres is a lot of
That's
tax
a
roll.
lot of, yeah.
Would that be better for the county to have that on their legislative agenda?
Say that again?
I didn't know if that would be better for the county, possibly to have that on their agenda or talk to the county, because right now you have, everyone's doging, everyone's looking at expenses. It's going to be hard to get a bandwidth where you're losing money off your tax roll. Have you been doged? Have they looked at it for the county?
Gotcha. No, just budget increase. Yeah, anything we can do to help the school budget.
Yes, it's about the budget increase. It's all about the budget increase.
Budget increase, mine personally, property tax, trying to keep as much money flowing into us as possible from that. That's kind of my top two. I certainly think the hope, like I say, is, at least to have, certainly don't shoot it, not be negative against it, but make sure, like I said, the accountability is there. That, if it does come here, then at least there's equitable share of cost associated with the students that would be in your facilities.
Yeah, I think one way to maybe say it that puts it in a good posture is, address glitch issues after the first round of applications and help ensure all choice options are treated equitably for our students.
About that rural renaissance, the rural renaissance thing, is that?
The rural renaissance? We definitely want to advocate for that
Right.
because we
Because
will,
that'll benefit us.
that will benefit.
Yeah.
That's great. Okay, any more, we can decide on the platform without Dr. McDougal.
Yeah, that's
and you
true,
have
yeah.
all- If you
Yeah.
have all the information.
That's a good point. I don't have
Any questions? Mr. Asbell, Mrs. Campbell? Anything for Dr. McDougal? Okay.
You got another bill or something you got written down, Miss Lisa, we need to know about?
Sorry, but I want.
You was rattling them things off.
I was gonna take advantage of having Kim.
You can always call my cell.
Okay, I think that's it. We'll use the rest of our time here and figure out our top priority, and that will be it for us, and move
All
on
right,
to the
that's
next.
awesome. And then Superintendent Bloom, when you get a chance, just email me and we'll set up a time where we can have weekly or bi-weekly discussions, whatever makes you and your board comfortable that you know what's going on in Tallahassee. Be happy to do that.
Okay, thank you so very much for
Appreciate
your
your
time.
time.
All right, thank you.
Are y'all gonna try to do that when you go to rural county days?
Do what?
Meet with-
Yeah, yes, she's setting up appointments.
So,
That's-
nobody's
when-
going back for the following week then?
I was gonna ask about that, so
Well, can we do,
Yeah,
can
we can do
we
that.
hold on that and just get the platform done before we move on to the regular scheduled board meeting, and then we can talk about calendars, maybe when we're not
Yeah.
doing the workshop?
Sounds good.
Okay. Thank you. Sorry. No, it's all good. All right, so
increase of BSA.
If you wanna start with, number one should be,
Budget?
Budget, yeah, budget increase.
It's all about money.
All about the money,
Yeah.
all about Benjamin.
Ms. Lake, is there any verbiage that you
Either
would like
Getting more,
us to?
keeping what you got.
Plain and simple is the way she
Put
put
it.
it, increasing that BSA.
And making sure the state doesn't require the districts to roll back the RLE. Could that be clumped together?
That's local funding, the BS, yes. I can't articulate the RLE, that was very complex, so I would need to hear what she said. I guess she was saying not to increase the rollback rate.
Right,
You're gonna have a
correct.
rollback rate.
right.
So, by not increasing it, you would allow for more local tax dollars to flow in. That's not really gonna, not necessarily gonna increase. What I say, we would be contributing more, but you're still capped at your total at the FD. So I guess I'd have to understand that a little bit
Okay,
more.
so maybe just increase the
I'm sure it
BSA?
makes sense, but I just would need to.
Would that be more tied in with the property tax?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And we have, remember, we have three, we have capital. The rollback though is specific to those discretionary dollars and FDFE dollars that you have to contribute to the state to get total funding. The BSA, would increase the student, base student allocation before the local dollars and before any categoricals. So I guess I would have to kind of understand a little bit more about what the ROE would be, how are we generating more dollars?
Yeah, so maybe like,
Sorry.
I was like, budget with the BSA and then property tax, make sure the
Right.
RLE is accurate. I mean, I don't know what rough draft kind of language and then we can fine tune it.
I was just gonna suggest that you have sort of an umbrella term, hold the school district harmless from any property tax
Yeah,
reform.
that's right.
And
Okay.
that includes RLE.
Setting up like that rate.
Yeah, I agree.
That sounds good.
And I would kind of have that a little separate though from the BSA, they're a little separate.
They're different.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
so
think
have
that's two different
points,
items.
yeah. And then what about the transparency of money following the students with the voucher program? I think that is so important because we've lost so many kids to that. And then they're dumping them back in our schools when they're tired of,
Well, couldn't we incorporate that as part of the budget, the overall?
maybe so, have it be a bullet under the,
Because what we're wanting to
The
do is
top.
peel it out of
right.
Ex-
the district. We want
Mhm.
them to be separate within the education budget.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good point. You just have it part of the, because I know we need to keep it simple.
Okay.
Right.
School
So
of Hope.
basically, budget, the School of Hope you have, Rural
Rural
Renaissance.
Right.
And do you want a fourth, or do you just want to stick with the top three?
I think.
So we are gonna put the RLE and the BSA, put those all in.
I think
Underneath.
that's all.
All in one
money.
umbrella. So,
I think
Like
that's
Dave.
enough
I do too.
myself,
I think, yeah.
but whatever.
I
Well, if
think
you
there's a
got-
lot under budget.
That's right,
Yes.
there's a lot. in the
Yeah.
budget.
In the rural renaissance, within that, there's something about they're asking to reinstate state funding of PICO for traditional public school maintenance.
This is what NEFEC is going, their
Right,
representatives are
right.
going to.
But I think
be
that should be a
focusing on.
concern that we want to push too, because we need help with that as far as maintenance of our schools. I mean,
In the budget,
Yeah.
another,
One more bullet under the budget?
Yeah, that's kind of how they did it, didn't they? Kind of do a subject and then just kind of bullets.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if that's the best way to do it.
not to put you on the spot, Miss Marcy, but I know from looking at last year's platform and remembering prior platforms, we always did have mental health.
we always did have what was
Mental
it?
health.
Mental health.
Yes, yeah.
On the list. I don't know
It's
what
kinda-
your world looks like, if we should.
Continuing to fund, at least
Fund.
at the
Mhm.
level that they have been providing funding.
continued financial support of mental health.
Especially with the, things declining, I'm concerned that that's an area that will be cut and that is, we need all of those dollars.
Oh, yeah,
So if we could at least stay where we're at, I think we're holding our own
yeah.
for now.
Maintain mental health funding,
Yes.
And the needs
at
are
least, or,
going
continue.
away.
Or we maintain state school funding as well.
There you go.
So what are our, okay now, and I'm the densest person up here and we're readily admit. My weak brain's heard about 6 different things. How are we organizing that? 'Cause
They're all budget numbers.
they all
They're all-
come about one thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying we wanna keep it as simple as simple. So when you say you wanna talk about the School of Hope, what do you want to talk about? That's a done deal.
You're running a level playing field.
Right.
for
Yeah,
all
we
of
need
the
Yeah.
schools.
I am a hometown boy, believes in shoring up home. I believe that's already passed. I believe that's a push that's coming because if we've watched the trend has been to abolish us and go with this. And heaven forbid, there's a closet at Bronson Elementary School that we can,
being used.
that's not being used, that we can put some 12th graders in.
Well, that's an opportunity.
At cost to us.
Right.
Because when you look at it, we gotta feed them, we gotta secure them.
And
We gotta do
transport
it.
them.
So, and the more we talk, and I don't believe in putting your head in the sand, but if you go out there, we wanna talk about the School of Hope, that's a done deal.
Right.
Let's don't bring attention to it, let's just, okay, like if we're a pirate, if we're an English ship and pirates are attacking us, let's don't talk about the pirates attacking us. Let's set up for the pirates attacking us. Shut the doors, fill the seats, fight back that way. Tallahassee, the fight's over.
Yeah.
Protect and Levy County. That's my opinion. Put your finger in the dike. You know, when the old story, the boy put his finger in the dike. Do that. Ain't gonna do no good bringing that up and beating that horse. But we gotta concentrate on this BSA thing, as far as I'm concerned, because that's the base level. Base level is where anybody's in money, the base is where it matters.
That's right.
So we want that base to improve. Good point, Mr. Lott. We lost $22,000 worth of land to the state.
22,000 acres.
22,000 acres.
Yeah.
Acres. That's tax dollars coming out of an already poor county.
Right.
We're an agricultural county. We got to have
Yeah,
help.
Goatee's already got how many acres before that? I mean, we're
Yeah,
already.
we have to be
Yeah.
held harmless on this property tax thing, whatever that's gonna be. Because,
Right now we are, so continue.
you know, we wanna maintain that. I agree that the school funding and, the safe funding and the mental health, but our emphasis has to be on that budget.
Yeah, money.
Has to be.
Yeah.
And we don't need to talk about, in my opinion, and I'm nuts, let's don't talk about fights that's already over.
Right.
Let's protect, okay, we go into defense,
Right.
we protect at home, goal line stance is
Which
where-
Kim
Yeah,
said
but-
be
but
careful
if
with
we have
anyway,
to-
because
But if
you
it
don't,
comes this way and we have to, in reality, have these schools, where are we getting the money for the safety?
Well,
We
well-
need to be asking for that
Well,
now.
I think that's still
just
gonna
in
come. What
case.
I'm saying on the School of Hope thing is, for example, in Cedar Key, make sure they got people in them classes. Like Doolin was saying, put some
beanbags.
beanbags
Beanbags
in there,
in
that's a
the
study
middle.
room, that's being used. Everything is being used. And accelerate on that. There's pipe dream things we all want, and things that we need to do, but I think we have to function on that BSA because ultimately, we've fallen off a cliff, as has been used many times before, and we got to
Right.
protect what we got,
Yeah, we
for
got-
starters, and then
Yeah.
we'll expand later.
I agree with that. I think
Shore
that's
up.
Yeah.
definitely number one. And I think the second one is the money following the student from those
Yeah.
voucher programs, because we're,
Ms. Lake, you were gonna say?
I was just gonna say, School of Hope is scary. The beauty of it is you have really big districts fighting
That's right.
that have real skin in
Right.
the game right now.
I thought the same
Not
thing.
to say we won't. So I can understand what Mr. Asbell is saying, let those big districts fight out, because they want the same thing we want ultimately, which is a level playing field, with
Right.
regard to that. So, maybe this is the time to focus on the other stuff, and then next year see where School of Hope is and that might be.
We'll tie up our resources with
Yeah, I like
that
the
when
way
you
you
got
put that.
these.
Sometimes it's better, let those big guys fight that for us. And we sneak in under the wire on these things going, hey, this is what matters to this little county.
Because it's impacting them a lot more than it
This
is
impacts-
currently.
And if we don't talk about it, they may sit there going, that may be a way. And then when you show up to get in, we ain't got no room for you because we don't have no money. Give us the BSA, we'll see what we think.
Right.
Okay.
You know, really, BSA is where it all
Yeah, maybe we
Boils
should
right
just
down
do
to it.
all budget and with sub
Everything's budget.
points.
And I would also, we saw this at the conference. I can't remember what county had it, but their little platform, we did a great job last year. But theirs was about that big.
Oh, yeah,
like-
it's a
like
postcard.
on
Card
cardstock.
stock, in a good color, that way when it was thrown up, I ain't talking about legislators, but we've all been there.
Yeah.
They take that thing,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that white paper gets lost. What's that purple paper?
Well, this is pretty busy, ain't gonna lie.
This is
Yeah.
very
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah, they had a postcard, and it had
And
like
it-
right at the
yeah.
bottom, had
Boom,
like Levy
boom.
It
County or
said the
whatever.
contact, had the contact
Yes, and a
person.
contact, anybody you want to
And the
talk to.
phone number, email, whatever was on
Yeah,
there.
Yeah.
Okay.
and then like I said, we get a couple, you could have big letters,
Of course,
make them big letters.
to
probably.
pick a color, we'd want orange and blue, right, Devin?
Of course, if you want it to work.
Black
Now,
and
if you
yellow.
want to just sit back and take credit, you
Then
get,
do red,
get baby
white.
blue and yellow. But you know, if you want it working, you get that orange and blue, sky blue
Black
and
and yellow.
sunshine on it.
You wanna call the numbers?
I think we're just
Give the
gonna
rainbow
do
to the Democrats.
budget and everything that falls under that. So are we all in agreement with just doing budget?
And
Budget with subhead?
With a couple of
anything-
bullet points underneath the
anything-
budget.
What do you want as bullet points? Specifically,
BSA.
the BSA,
3 to 5% BS.
Property
3 to
tax.
5%
Property tax.
BSA.
and the transparency of the vouchers.
Sir?
Ask for 5%, okay.
Yeah, just go ahead and ask 5%.
You write
Don't,
that,
don't,
okay.
yeah,
Say 5%.
say 5%.
Let's do 5%.
That's absolutely the way I believe
Okay,
in
let's go over
negotiating. I'll
that
ask
a little bit
5, maybe
slower,
3.5.
so
Okay,
one more
okay.
time,
Budget
so
5%.
Miss Angela can type it
BSA.
up. RLE, don't roll back. Hold school districts
Which is
harmless.
the RLE would tie in with the property tax,
That's
right?
right.
Okay. And then the transparency of the voucher program, the money
Scholarships.
following the students.
Scholarships. Put
Scholarships.
D, scholarships, funding.
And I think that we should stop there.
I do
Yeah,
too.
and I like you, I like that
I mean-
postcard we saw, that was
Postcard
hard.
thing.
Do you want the
Boom.
And
There it
rural
is.
renaissance is being fought by,
Oh, by some, and Senator Albritton is one who,
And you can, yeah, do property tax,
Well,
we'll
it's
take it
not
off if
bad
we
now.
got all under budget maybe, if we already got RLE, then maybe we can,
Take off property taxes?
yeah, cause I think we're covering that with RLE.
Okay.
And what was the bottom one?
Rural Renaissance? You're gonna have to, under property taxes, though, it's even more important than RLE is to ask them to continue to hold
right.
public schools harmless in this.
What, that
hold
don't-
public schools harmless.
Public schools harmless.
Umbrella.
That's the umbrella there beyond the RLE is we love what you're doing, continue to make sure that, we're only, cutting non-public school property taxes. It's got
Okay.
verbiage to that, but,
I have budget increase by 5%. A,
no, BSA.
BSA.
Specific increase in BSA,
increase in BSA.
5% increase in BSA,
So take the word budget out,
yeah.
Yes.
okay? Okay. BSA. Okay, increase BSA by 5%. Okay. Under that, RLE,
I would say property taxes and their.
That hold harmless on the property
Yes,
taxes.
yeah.
I don't know the
Property
wording.
tax hold harmless.
How'd you
We'll
say it,
figure out
David?
the.
Let David
the
tell
rest.
you.
I would just say, hold public school districts harmless from property tax reform,
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
then maybe it's
So,
something.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't, reduce the rollback rate.
Whole public schools harmless from property tax reform.
Continue.
property tax, forum,
Reform.
reform.
Should we
Yeah.
put the word continue?
No, that passed yet, but that's where everything has us being held harmless.
Get rid of the
So this is one where you're.
RLE.
Right.
That would
Right,
be-
I have no.
You're gonna ask them to hold harmless, but you can also congratulate.
Get rid
them
of
for
B,
having foresight. So make
that's
sure
in
it
there.
stays- Make sure that stays in the bill, but it wasn't.
Scholarships and rural renaissance, is
Yes.
that, and we can figure out the details under those headings.
Can probably help push also.
Okay, so we have two then. We have increased VSA by 5%. Under that is A, hold public schools harmless from property tax reform. B, scholarships.
Well, that wouldn't be under that one, I don't think.
I
That
think
would be
that's
a
your bullet point, your second bullet point.
Yes.
Is hold public schools harmless from property tax reform. So versus increase the BSA 5%.
So that's number
bullet
two.
point.
So your heading should be budget. Right?
Budget,
Budget increase, yeah.
okay,
And then 2 points under that, 2 bullet points.
okay. All right, whole public schools, okay, budget. Okay, that's gonna be a B. All right,
AB, yep.
budget, colon, increase BSA by 5%. B, hold public schools harmless from property tax reform. Number 2, scholarships.
Yes.
Number 3, rural renaissance.
Scholarship
And
transparency.
it needs to
Or
be
just scholarships, yeah.
transparency.
We can figure out the
Okay,
verbiage
okay.
at the end.
That's
We
right.
just need the headings
Okay,
for now.
okay,
Okay.
and now call this one 26. Okay,
Well, I don't think to vote on it because it's a moving.
No.
We don't need to
Moving.
Yeah, we'll have
Okay.
a vote. when it's like
We are
workshop-
done.
Workshop.
Better not discriminate.
meeting adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.